massive audience. Thank you, Maya Wilton. I try my best. The photo on Instagram basically said, you can't get this, and it showed someone on a stage with a huge audience, if you've never experienced this. And it showed someone on a stage with about 3 people in the audience. And I think that's really true. I'm looking back at my memories of being at various places, doing foresights within 4Networking, which just didn't work. Out of all of the foresights I've done, probably 10% of them just didn't work. But it was just as important that I did them as it was that I did the 90% that did work. I'll come back to that in a second, Paul. Paul's asking what's the biggest mistake people make in networking. I'm looking at my Twitter stream as well. The presentations that I've done at various small local and business shows where I only had 7 people in the audience, going all the way to East London and only having 7 people, going to actually quite a major show and no one turning up for my presentation. I think it's so important that you do that stuff along the way, and that doesn't just come with speaking engagements as well. I think it's everything. Being successful at any type of business means you do have to go through the failures to get to the successes. You do have to go through the challenges and just keep going on. I think, yeah, that's something that's been interesting me today. A load of people keep asking me how they get the paid speaking engagements, because that's a lot of what I'm doing now. But actually, the way you get the paid speaking engagements is to stand up and speak with any audience of any size. I know that Gary Vaynerchuk talks a lot about 1 being better than 0. Whoever's giving me these hearts, I really do appreciate them. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to hit a milestone tonight. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about 1 being better than 0, and doing that speaking engagement in front of 7 people, giving it exactly the same energy which I give if I'm in front of 200 people, actually caring about the audience that are there and making sure that those 7 people turned up who got value, that's how you do 100 of those, and then you get the 1 paid speaking gig in front of a big audience. Paul, it's an absolute feature of Periscope that people have to lose connection and come back several times. That's exactly how it works. Yeah, anyone ask me about that? Anyone want to ask me anything? Pop comments down here. But Paul, you asked me what's the biggest mistake that people make in networking, and I think I have revised my view of that recently. Revised it slightly. A lot of people go in for the sale too early, and I speak, hello Help Sheffield, I don't know you, I'm afraid, but we're not a business, I've just followed you on Periscope. Help Sheffield, I'm the author of Business Networking for Dummies. That's my book there. I talk about business networking in front of other businesses. I talk about networking to students. I talk about networking and people skills. Thank you. I talk about networking and people skills generally. James, I'll come to that in a second. That's a really, really interesting question, and you're going to set me off on a bit of a rant, actually, and not the rant that you're expecting. But Help Sheffield, I speak about various business subjects. Business networking's my thing, personal relationships is my thing. But please, if you want to follow me on Twitter, or search me on LinkedIn, Stephen Thomas, you'll find a bit more about me, and if you follow me on Twitter in a minute, I will forward you a video which explains a little bit more about what I do. James, you've asked a question there which I think is really judgmental, because you mentioned MLM people, and it suggests to me that you're making a judgment about anyone who's involved in the network marketing business. And what's really interesting to me is that people in network marketing businesses are currently buying services from me. And in fact, on Facebook today, someone has just spotted a 4Networking meeting that I'm going to. She's a distributor for the Utility Warehouse Discount Club, and that person has asked me for a one-to-one in advance, and I have absolutely gratefully accepted the fact that someone wants to have a one-to-one with me, because she's interested in getting more out of networking. She wants to talk to me about it, and when I get to the end of my foresight, not my current one, but the one I've done the most of, I always say, never underestimate the people in the room, never prejudge the people in the room. And I think by judging people because they come from a particular business sector, I think that's a mistake. I genuinely think that's a mistake. I think there's a whole lot of people in multi-level marketing who could get their approach a lot better. And it's something that I talk to people about. In fact, I don't think he's here tonight, but Wes Linden from Utility Warehouse has sent me some of his stuff over, which is fantastic. And I wish a load more people in Utility Warehouse would actually read, listen to his stuff and act on it. But equally, I think it's a mistake just to judge people based on the industry or industry sector that they're in. Told you it was a rant, and it wasn't the rant that you were expecting. I can't tell whether people are still here. Ask me any questions down the bottom. I'll keep talking about networking if you're not asking me any questions. Well, someone's hearting me, so someone's still here. Thank you very much for the heart. Yeah, and don't judge, James, don't judge everyone in an industry sector by the approaches of people who get it wrong. Actually, one of 4Networking's longest standing members, who I knew before 4N, is I'm just checking my Twitter feed as well. Yeah, Lee Rickler. Lee Rickler, who doesn't do iPhones, so he's watching me on the web. So he's just tweeted me to say MLMers generally get to connect with more people than we credit them for. What I would also say is a load of people involved in network marketing have also got other jobs and other businesses. Network marketing is often the thing that we know them for, but they might have other businesses which your services can help with. I've found that. Yes, Nick Elston, do you still feel the nerves when presenting or speaking? Yes, I do, and I think that's vital. I really think it's vital. I think it's vital that you've got that energy. I think it's vital that you've got that spark, that you really, really want to give people the best. You run Help Sheffield. I run some events and do struggle to get the numbers to attend. What type of events do you run to Help Sheffield? Sorry, I don't know you terribly well yet. But Nick, to answer your question, I've learned a load of stuff to get me over the nerves, but I think the nerves which come from me wanting to make sure that everyone in the room gets value, I think that's really, really vital to me. Yeah, Adam, general networking and music networking. Oh, talk to me about music networking, Help Sheffield. That sounds exciting. The thing about struggling to get people to attend, even if your events are free, people are giving up their time. So people have to see value in attending the events. The value might be from the speaker. Hey, Shabazz, hello from, I'm in Oxfordshire in England. Rebecca, I'm going to come to your question in a second, but hello to Dubai. Do all speaking events expect you? Nick Johnson, Jick Nonson, you asked me this question last night or the night before. No, I'm not in BNI. I was a member of BNI back in 2006. I'm currently a member of 4Networking. Hello, software engineer. Shabazz, I'm the author of Business Networking for Dummies. That's me. Can't remember who just asked me the question, but at the speaking events that I go along to, I don't sell at the end, except that people often buy from me. I think there's a real difference between being the person who says, if you buy now, there are 10 at this enormous discount. It's usually £6,000, but just for today it's £19, 20 quid, whatever it is. And I've honestly seen that. In fact, there's a show where I go to where a guy does that presentation on the hour, every hour, where his normal product is £2,000, but just for today, he's I'm going to answer your question in a second, Paul. Quality better than quantity. Very judgmental question. I'm going to come back, and I'm smiling when I say that. I'm going to come back to that in a second. But whoever asked the question, I'm sorry I can't remember your name. Do all speaking events expect you to sell at the end? No, they don't. And the culture that I come from, certainly, is that you sell more by selling less. You give away, this is what I do, you give away a load of yourself, you give away a load of free advice and information, and actually, guess what? I get more people buying from me by doing that than I would by standing here and saying, buy my book. Although if you want to buy my book, you're very welcome. I think I got away with it. Quality better than quantity. Thank you, Spider-Man UK, whoever you are, for the retweet. It's very kind of you. Super Mike, I'm trying to work out who people are. Quality better than quantity. see, it's really sort of judgmental thing to ask, because I don't get what constitutes quality, if that makes sense. I can have great conversations. How do I send you a heart? Rebecca, you just double tap on your screen. Double tap on your screen and you'll send me a heart. Rebecca Lowry, follow me on @NoRedBraces. There you go, Rebecca. Send me 800 hearts. Keep tapping. It's all good. But thank you very much. That's really kind of you. Tweet me, actually, Rebecca, @NoRedBraces. Jick Nonson, are you better to pitch towards the attendees, clients, i.e. this would benefit a certain sector? So, a couple of things. Still answering the other question about quality rather than quantity. One is better than zero. That's not mine. That's thank you. Oh, sorry, Rebecca, that I didn't know that already. Send me a tweet now. And I'm sorry, I should have known that. I beg your pardon. Quality better than quantity. Listen, Gary Vaynerchuk says that one is better than zero. I'm very happy talking to a room full of 7 people. I'm very happy talking to a room full of hundreds of people. It's fair to say I get paid more for the rooms that have got hundreds of people. But a room with 7 people, you may not know that one person who represents your absolutely best client. Tell you what I will say, which is really important. Hello, Rachel Shalou. Tell you what I will say, which is really important. It's not the number of people. I think it's how you react with them afterwards and how you keep in touch with them afterwards. You might have noticed this. I've started doing an awful lot of video replies on Twitter. I've started replying to people, but with short personal video messages, 10 seconds long. I've got some really big opportunities coming up as a result of not just talking to many people, but also talking directly to that one person. You never know who that one person might be. And in 2 cases very recently, that one person who I video replied to has turned out to be super influential. I didn't know that. I just wanted to reply to as many people as possible. The other day I did something like 20 video replies in an hour, which was fun, but 2 of those turned out to be really, really influential. The other question, pitch into a specific sector. No, it's okay. You can ask questions, you're absolutely fine. Go and ask questions, Rachel, you're fine. Pitch into a specific sector, Jick Nonson. If you're looking for referrals from a specific sector, then it does help to be hyper-specific about asking for those referrals. Not just asking for a specific sector, but if you're specific about exactly which businesses you're trying to approach, then that's important as well. Jick Nonson, remind me where you are. I think you told me on Monday night. Alexandra, what do I do for work? I speak in front of audiences and I get paid to do that, which is nice. I've written a book called Business Networking for Dummies. Thank you, Jick Nonson, I'd forgotten that bit. I've written a book called Business Networking for Dummies, and I work with people on improving their networking skills. So that's me. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for dropping in. Jick Nonson up in Liverpool. I'm sure you have got BNI chapters up there. You've certainly got some 4 networking groups up there as well. Paul, I get that. I said I was smiling at you, smiling directly at you when you asked the question. Actually, I think I was looking for the excuse to have a couple of rants tonight, and a couple of you have given me the opportunity to rant. Yeah, anyone want to ask me anything else about networking or anything that I haven't answered? I'll stick around for a few more minutes and then I'll let you all get on with your evening. What's a good way to learn about public speaking, how to do it well, and how to get gigs? I'll come to that in a second. WTF is networking. Hi, Brett. Business networking. Really simply, putting businesses of different types together in a room so that they can buy from each other or sell to each other. Networking in another context is building your professional network in your career so that you're always in contact with lots of people, which will help you build teams when you want to put a team together for something, but also will help you build your career, because if you're in contact with all of the right people, then that helps you to step up. Any more books soon? Yes, I've just been contracted to write another book. I've just been contracted to write another book which will be published in April. Do I look like Stephen Fry? I'm from Oxford, and I don't know where you're from, Brett, but possibly I sound like him if you sound like that. Thank you. Okay, do I? I don't think I do. He's got a much deeper voice than me, and because he's a lovey, because he's an actor, I think he projects much better than me. Yeah, another book coming out in April 2016. I just had the... I don't think I do either. Thank you. Let's not get into an argument about whether or not I sound like comedians. I'm glad you like him. We all love him in England. He's a national treasure. Rebecca, get in speaking engagements. Thank you. Getting speaking engagements, Rebecca. Start going out to networking meetings and doing the 10-minute slot. It's called the Foresight slot at For Networking. Start doing that with a passion. To get public speaking engagements, start going out speaking. You won't get paid for it at first. That's the deal. Go out and do a load. Start to build up your reputation. Take every opportunity you can to speak. And this is Anthony Robbins 101. This is stuff that I read from Awaken the Giant Within, gosh, back in the mid-90s. Take every opportunity. If you want to get out there speaking, take every opportunity to speak. If it's 3 people, if it's 7 people, if it's hundreds of people, take the opportunity. A couple of times I happened to be at business shows and their speaker had cancelled and I stepped in at the last minute. I still do that. I did that at the business show in London back in May. But that was with like 30 seconds notice. So if you get the opportunity to speak, take it. And keep taking it, and keep doing it, and do it hundreds of times, and then you'll get a reputation. The other thing is, and this was pointed out to me the other day, one of the reasons why I'm here on Periscope is that if people are looking to book a speaker, they quite like to play safe and work out that it's not someone who's going to stumble over their words, not someone... Okay, I'll come back to that, Help Sheffield. It's not someone who's going to be a rubbish speaker. So get as much video content out there, as you possibly can, so that people feel that they know you. If you can get your presentations videoed, great. Otherwise, do stuff straight to camera, do stuff straight to Periscope, to YouTube, whatever it happens to be. Get your stuff out there in the best possible way. Be really interesting to hear about the music scene in Sheffield. No, you're welcome, Rebecca, and thank you for saying thank you. A lot of people don't, and I really appreciate it when you do. What was I saying? Did someone else ask me a question? Network marketers. Rachel Shallow asked me a question. I really should have something alongside me and write down the questions as they come in, which I don't. Question about network marketing. I think it's the same as all of the other advice I give. I actually think a load of network marketers, bizarrely, don't sell hard enough. I think they probably go in far too hard on the first approach and lose the interest of people. I think they could do a much better job of going in much softer on the first approach, but following up. I've had network marketers trying to sell stuff to me over the years. They go in really hard on the first approach, and then I never hear from them again. I never ever hear from them again. And what's the point of that? They would have done much better having a chat with me in the first place than keeping in touch. Someone on Facebook is keeping in touch really cleverly with me at the moment. And actually, although I'm not likely to buy his products, he's probably listening now, although that's not likely to happen, I really, really value the fact that he's keeping in touch in a very sensible way. Cheers, James. Thanks for saying goodbye. Mike, I know where you're based. I know exactly who you've seen in your part of the country. But yeah, there's my little rants tonight. Tell you what I have been thinking. Thought about this as I was walking earlier on today. I went for a very big walk earlier on today. I think a load of people don't pick up the opportunities when they're placed right in front of them. Because very often those opportunities which are placed right in front of you at networking don't involve someone paying you. And I think that's where a load of people miss the opportunities along the way. That oftentimes you have to do some of the free stuff, you have to do some of the trade stuff to get to where you want to be. And I think oftentimes people look almost far too quickly for absolute cash selling opportunities and miss the big opportunities which they would have found if they'd have just gone through the other really tiny stuff which you might not get paid for in the first place. I think a load of people have been asking me recently, a load of people have been accusing me again of being in the right place at the right time, but I was there. But I was at those trade shows, at those business shows, at all those hundreds of networking meetings where no one actually gave me any money, no one bought anything off me, but the opportunities were there in front of me. I think many people miss the opportunity because they look too hard for a return on investment. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say good night to you all. I don't know who's left, but it's been lovely chatting to you. I needed a bit of waking up. Actually, that's why I came and chatted to you guys. So thank you very much for your attention tonight. Rebecca, you're very welcome. Thank you for staying. T-Dog, thank you. I don't know if I've helped Sheffield. Thank you for all of that. Linda Scannell, who's just joined. I'm afraid I'm just signing off, but it was nothing that you said. I'll be back later on in the week, I'm sure. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.